Hey guys, Mrs. Morell here with your warm-up question explanation for the week. We went ahead and pulled some questions from previously taught material. These questions are primarily from 7th grade to help prepare you for your upcoming interim benchmark test. So here we go. Number 1, use the table below to answer the following question. So if you look at the table, you've got 4 organisms, A, B, C, and D, and it says structures found in cells. That's one column title. Then raw materials used, that would be the reactants, and then products. So this is talking about chemical reactions that take place in, and if you look in the structures, inside organelles. So which of the organisms, that means A, B, C, or D, would be classified as prokaryotic? So if you'll remember from 7th grade, we had the little saying, pro, no, you, yes. So prokaryotic means no nucleus. Eukaryotic means yes nucleus. So you're looking for an organism with no nucleus. So that means it has to be organism B. So that's the only one with no nucleus. The next question, Anya is observing an organism in the laboratory. The table shows her observations. The organism Anya is observing most likely belongs to which kingdom? So if you'll remember back to 6th grade, you had domains and kingdoms, and the domains are the domains are bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Under eukarya, there are 4 kingdoms. The kingdoms under eukarya are fungi, plant, animal, and protist. Under archaea, there's only one kingdom, and it's archaebacteria. And then under bacteria, there's only one kingdom, and it's bacteria. The difference between archaebacteria and bacteria is archaebacteria live in extreme environments and are really pretty recently discovered. But anyway, we're looking at chlorophyll, multicellular cell wall. So this is going to be a eukaryotic organism. So it's going to either be a plant, animal, fungi, or protist. So let's look at our characteristics. Chlorophyll, if you'll remember, and it does have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is in the chloroplast, and it absorbs radiant energy so that the plant can carry out photosynthesis. So based on that alone, you should be able to figure out that it's a plant. Another one that would be helpful is cell wall. You should remember from 7th grade that plant cells have chloroplasts and cell walls, and animal cells don't. So those 2 things mainly tell you that it's D, a plant. Most plants can't move. They have root systems, so that would also be helpful. But the answer is that it's a plant. All right, number 3, a group of students used the diagram to classify 3 organisms into different kingdoms. So here's what the diagram gives you. It says that it's a multicellular organism, so that rules out domain bacteria and archaebacteria, so no bacteria. And then the next layer has cell wall, no cell wall. So that means we're going to have plants and either animals or protists or fungi here. And then chloroplasts, no chloroplasts, and no chloroplasts. So let's see, multicellular, cell wall, and chloroplast, that would be kingdom plant because it has a cell wall and it has chloroplasts. Multicellular, cell wall, and no chloroplasts, that would be a fungi because they are not photosynthetic. And then finally, multicellular, no cell wall, and no chloroplasts, that would be Animalia. So the correct answer is Kingdom 1 is Plantae, Kingdom 2 is Fungi, and Kingdom 3 is Animalia. Number 4. An ecosystem consists of interdependent components in that they interact with one another in a natural environment of a specific geographic area. Many of these interactions are critical for their survival. Energy from the sun and material elements cycle through an ecosystem through food chains and other pathways. Which example includes a biotic factor affected by an abiotic factor in its ecosystem? So you'll have to remember that biotic factors are biotic means living and abiotic is non-living. So think about living things in an ecosystem and non-living things in an ecosystem. So the question asks, which example includes something alive affected by something not alive? So wind eroding and forming a sand dune. Both of those things are abiotic. A lion consuming other animals for energy. Both of those things are biotic. Rain increasing the rate of water flow in a river. Both of those things are abiotic. Or D, climate in a given region affects the growth of trees. So growth of trees are biotic, and climate is abiotic. So the climate affects the trees. So your answer is D. Climate in a given region affects the growth of trees. And finally, for this day, which of the following are examples of maintaining homeostasis? You'll remember from 7th grade, homeostasis is a state of internal balance. So those are it's the thousands of tiny little steps every day that your body takes to keep your systems all in balance. So a person sweating to cool down. That is regulating your internal body temperature. So that is homeostasis. A bird fluffing its feathers to retain heat. That's also regulating internal temperature. A lizard stretching out on a sunny rock to increase its internal temperature. That's also regulating internal temperature. So that means that each of those things is a way that an organism can maintain homeostasis. So different animals maintain their internal body temperatures in different ways, but they all regulate their internal body temperature to help maintain homeostasis. All right, so let's go on to the Thursday, Friday questions. Number 1, a little recap. The sun heats the atmosphere of Earth unevenly. Which of the following is the most likely result of the uneven heating? Well, we know that uneven heating of the Earth causes wind and water to begin moving. So, and that movement of wind and water is called convection. So you need an answer that has convection in it. And the only one that has convection in it is A, convection in the atmosphere causes a change in air density resulting in wind, because wind is simply moving air. Number 2, how long would a complete day, that means day and night on Earth, be if Earth did not rotate on its axis? So if Earth, we modeled this in class, if Earth did not rotate on its axis, it would take an entire year for there to be a 1 day and night cycle, because it would be day and night would change as the Earth revolved around the sun instead of as it rotates on its axis. So it would take an entire year for a complete day-night cycle. Which of these things is caused by Earth's rotation? Only one thing is caused by Earth's rotation as far as these things go, and that would be days and nights. Earth's rotation of Earth on its axis causes day and night. Tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the moon, the interaction of the moon and the Earth together. Spring and fall are seasons, and that's caused by Earth's tilt on its axis and its revolution around the sun. And rainfall is caused by the water cycle, which is driven by convection. All right, so the answer to number 3, rotation of the Earth is causes days and nights. Number 4, in October, students saw the pattern of stars in the sky called Orion. In July, they could not see Orion. Why was Orion no longer visible in July? Well, it was no longer visible because the Earth revolved around the sun and is now facing a different way. So it's in a different part of the sky. And so it is looking at different stars up above. The stars don't rotate around the sun. Yes, the Earth is tilted on its axis, but that's not why the sky looks different. That causes day and night. Yes, stars are moving away from the Earth because the universe is expanding, but that's not why you don't see Orion any longer. You see Orion no longer because Earth is in a different place in the sky relative to the sun. So it's that Earth revolved around the sun. And then number 5, why do the sun and the moon appear to move across the sky? They really don't move across the sky. Ancient peoples thought that they did, but they don't. Instead, rotation of Earth on its axis makes them seem to move. We modeled this in class, as Earth rotates, if you pick a point, it keeps circling back around and around and around, and that's why we seem to have day and night, and the sun rises and sets and the moon rises and sets because Earth is rotating on its axis. So that's it. There's your homework recap. Get your homework turned in. If you have any questions, please see your teacher.